5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815.
Oh, hey! Oh, I got music playing behind me. There we go. Little New Year's jaunty music. There we go. To be, honestly, to be truly a yearly wrap up for a service, it should take place in January, not in December. Spotify, just letting you know. I know you're taking advantage of people being home and wanted to share. And here's what I listen to all year long. But you want the true wrap up. You want it in January, not December. I'm Greg. He's Tom. This is the In Crowd 815 podcast for the 28th day of December, the year 2024, the latest it has ever been
in the history of mankind. Sorry about that. I had to grab a coffee. You did a minute. I was gone for a minute and 54 seconds. I in my Packer mug.
We need to set your cell phone alarm to just right at 8 o'clock. Just buzz or beep or whatever it is. Are you a buzz guy or are you a beep guy on your cell phone? And
I don't know. I suck as a co-host. I'm a buzz guy.
Me too.
I guess. I don't know. I never have my phone. My phone is always on vibrate. Always. And my wife will say, like, I'm trying to call you. Well, if it's on vibrate and it's not in my pocket or like right next to me, it might be on the kitchen table or or something.
Right.
But anyway.
Me too. Well, we have a great show to wrap up 2024 for you and the person still sleeping next to you. So go ahead and give them a little nudge and say, hey, wake up. If you want to listen to this thing live, it's time to wake up and see what's going on.
Snoopy today.
Snoopy in the house celebrating another big Packer win.
Dog. Faux shizzle.
All right. Yes, we're going to be talking with Charmel Jacobs from the Rockford Rescue Mission, and we got a special guest. She didn't know she was going to be on until about 35 minutes ago. So we're going to have Linda jump on with us too from Mosaic and wrap up this year and a pretty little bow and look forward to 2025 and talk about that a little bit too. But first, let's take care of this piece of business right here. Our current race to 10 has me in the lead by a score of 3-2. And our final big number of the week this week for this year is 900 million. 900 million. The answer is it PB&J or Poland? PB&J or Poland is the big number of the week, 900 million. And put your guess in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to come up with like a little fun story about what you think the big number's about, that would be fun too. How creative are you in the morning? I tend to be kind of more creative in the morning than the rest of the day.
I once had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in Poland. So
there's a story right there.
No, I've never been to Poland. I'm kidding.
900 million calories to wake up here.
Is that a hint?
No, I don't think so. Sometimes Tom, the big number of the week, I have it done by Monday or Tuesday. So I haven't even reread the story until I read it to you on the show.
Yeah.
Other weeks, I don't do the big number till Friday. So it all depends. It's the life of being a realtor. My schedule is wackadoodle.
Well, that's the same thing with being a trivia guy, except my schedule is a little more. It's not as fluid. I mean, it's there. Boom, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, sometimes Thursday nights, Friday nights. Grandkids come over. They're here all weekend. Do the show on Saturday. Watch some football on Saturday. Clean because I clean the pregnancy care center, and then Sunday, pretty much all day football.
Lots of football Sunday.
Yeah, it's in football. Oh, and by the way, before we get to the gals, I am slated to win my fantasy football, and both girls are going, "Oh, dear God." Yeah. I want to talk paintings and I want to talk Mosaic. I don't want to talk football. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, It's funny. Paintings and mosaic, kind of the same thing in
Yeah.
in a way. But anyway, I am slated to win, and here's why it's so significant. I was slated to take 8th place because they said I had a bad draft. Well, this is just a bunch of snot-nosed college grads that are writing this stuff up for Yahoo. That's all it is. And by the way, no money involved. It's fun. It's fantasy football. It's something very near and dear to my heart because I love football and I love my Green Bay Packers. But anyway, I am slated to win. And it's been a season. It's been a season.
So is fantasy football playoffs are this week? Does it include? It doesn't include the final week of the season, though, right? It says this.
Oh, no, it never does. It wraps up today.
Today.
Monday. It wraps up this week. You don't do the final week because let's just say Green Bay has nothing to play for tomorrow, next week, and Detroit has nothing to play. A lot of teams have zero to play for.
Right.
Next week, they're going to rest some of their starters. So they always wrap it up the week before. And the funny thing about it, Detroit may not have anything to play for next week at all.
Have the number one seed wrapped up.
The number one seed wrapped up, right? So Jared Goff may take a break. Maybe plays a quarter or something like that. So that's why they do it like that. So it wraps up this weekend. And last week was the first week of the championship round. 1 plays 4, 2 plays 3. I ended up in 3rd place, which was bogus. I should have ended up in 2nd, but I was 0.22, 22% of a point, tenths of a point away from beating the guy who took 2nd, and I would have taken 1st because I would have had a better record.
You're in the playoffs. That's the main thing,
and I'm slated to win because we've already gone through one incarnation.
last week was
the Wednesday games.
Oh, right.
The Wednesday games, because that's what started the week. And he scored like 9 points on 2 of his players, and I got 16 points on the Bear game on Thursday night because I had Seattle's defense. So,
anyway. we're not here to talk football today. We are here to talk about.
I thought we were.
Rockford Rescue Mission, and to fill us in on all things Rockford Rescue Mission, we bring in our good friend, former radio friend, and all-time wonderful person, Charmel Jacobs. Good morning, Charmel. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Yes, we can.
All right.
The word behind you is reversed though, so you're mirroring yourself right now. No, it's not.
So your left eye is actually your right eye, and your right eye is actually your left eye.
He's not wrong. So Tom and I had this discussion for weeks until he was like, "All right, fine, I'll mirror my camera so that you can read Super Bowl champions properly behind my head there." And that's
and you know what? For the longest time, I was number 38. It was really bad.
For a big guy like you, don't they do the numbers bigger for the bigger guys? I've always noticed that.
I don't know, but as long as you asked about my jersey, look at this. Yeah, I played football all my life. Yeah, I know. Oops. There you go. I played football all my life. Puffy sleeves. You know why? For shoulder pads. This here, the elastic.
The shoulder pads.
So people can't grab there like that. It's for comfort and all that. There is no size. There's a lot number. What I'm getting at is this is a game-worn jersey. I've done my research. This is a game-worn jersey by a Mr. Terry Glenn. I don't know if you can read it. Terry Glenn. Yeah. He had a cup of coffee with the Packers. Yeah, you don't get jerseys made for one season. He had 56 catches, like 500 yards, a couple touchdowns. And so this was a game-worn jersey, and I bought it at Goodwill. I walked in there. You know how when you walk around the corner and you see something, and all of a sudden it goes, oh, and there's this aura around it. I saw that. I'm like, yeah, I'll be right back. I went over there and I grabbed it, and I'm like, oh my God. But it didn't have a size on it. So I put it on, and it's like, oh my God.
This is mine.
This is mine. And then I looked at the price, $7.
Tom, I have had those moments, but never, ever has it been over a football jersey. Sorry. We're different.
You found that car that you liked, and I'm very
that did happen.
I'm very
a car. A car.
It was the color.
Oh, okay. I found this at the Goodwill too. This is my mouse pad. It was actually a top of a cooler. that doesn't work. So I use it as my mouse pad.
Well,
I'm a weird individual.
before we take Tom down the football trail one more time, Charmel, for those who have never met Charmel Jacobs before, tell us about you yourself. Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school? And tell us a little bit of a career capsule for you.
All right. Well, I grew up in South Beloit. I am a Sobo, deep in my heart. And went to college in Elgin. And for my family, that I might as well have been going to China. It was so far away, it seemed, way back in the day. Graduated from Judson and met my husband shortly after, and we got married very shortly after. And we've got 5 kids. We've got around 20 grandkids. And we are, and a great grandson and a little great granddaughter on the way. And we're just loving, enjoying. Boy, Christmas is crazy, but chaotic and a wonderful, wonderful time. So if you have time, I'll give you all my pictures and you can post them sometime on the podcast. I'm sure that would be really interesting for everyone, because not everybody has that in their family, right?
Yeah.
Pardon?
The show isn't long enough to name all your grandkids, so we don't want to.
So I started. What's that?
I have 5 grandkids, 3 girls,
and
2
aren't
boys.
They wonderful? I'll tell
They
you.
are absolutely the light of the world. They are.
So you got to spend,
and and someone said, "What's that, Greg?"
You both got to spend Christmas with at least most of your grandkids.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, I'm a little jealous because we didn't get Christmas with the grandkids this year. So
I saw that. Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, some people are sad about, thinking, Grandma, my mom treats my grandkids better or seems to love them more. And someone says it's only because they remind them of our own kids and of ourselves. And so it's all good.
Well,
no, we have a wonderful.
Yeah. It's also a lot easier. The grandkids, you sugar them up, send them home to mom and dad. It's easier because we're more experienced now.
Yeah.
We know we don't have to worry about them climbing on the furniture because, they're experts at it now.
We have the perspective of time on our side too. We know that they grow up because we watched our kids grow up and are like, oh my gosh, you're adults now. I can't enjoy you as a child anymore because you're no longer a child. Oh, good, grandkids. I'm going to experience childhood again through the. So it's a it's that sort of thing.
Yeah, let me just say this. One of the coolest things my wife ever said. I had asked her, I said, honey, why do we have the grandkids every single weekend? And I don't mind. I love them. They're sleeping in the next room, and they're the most incredible 2 boys ever put on the face of the earth. They're just incredible. She shows me a picture of young Dominic, who was 3. And then she shows me a picture next to it of Dominic when he was 5. And the difference was here to here. She goes, see how fast they grow up in just 2 years? Pretty soon, he's going to be, 12, 13, and it's not going to want to have anything to do with grandma and grandpa. I'm like, enough said. I wasn't arguing the point anyway. I didn't care.
I'm going to give you a bit of hope with that because the Rockford Rescue Mission is all about hope, and my family's all about hope.
Yep.
My grandchildren who are teens and young adults still run to give me a hug every time they see me. And we do things together all the time. And so it's not necessarily a given that they won't want to be with you. So just hang on to that.
Well, thank you for that. I very much appreciate that because
they are
such wonderful kids.
And that's a good segue to bring up the Rockford Rescue Mission Facebook page, which shows us during the season. By the way, there's a QR code up in the corner of your screen. If you would like to donate to the Rescue Mission, that should take you right to their donation page. Check that out. Rockford Rescue Mission has been serving the Rockford area now for 60 years. This was the 60th anniversary this year, right? And
yes.
I'll put the link to their Facebook page in our chat so you can go right to their Facebook page directly too. Again, for those who don't know, tell people about the Rescue Mission and what the Rescue Mission does.
Okay. So our mission statement is Rockford Rescue Mission shares hope and help in Jesus' name to move people from homelessness and despair toward personal and spiritual wholeness. So we definitely give handouts. That's what we're about, but it's way more because we offer a hand up. We want people to be successful. And I like to say when I'm talking to people in our chapel service, our little half-hour chapel service we have in the evenings, I say, I'm hoping that soon you'll be out on your own and living a whole wonderful life and make room for the next guy that needs that chair. And so that's what we do. And we have a lot of people that have come back to work with the mission because they've seen how they were loved and they were cared for and they want to pay back. And so we have a lot of people that have gone through our recovery program or stayed in our crisis center in the past. And they're serving right alongside us now.
Awesome. That's awesome. And I mean,
and oh, those faces, that's so cool.
And the faces of 60 years of helping people out and helping people up back onto their feet is pretty amazing. We can count the years. I don't know that we can count the people. I don't think you can, because the truth about what the rescue mission has done is, yes, you help that individual or that couple or that young family for the few weeks or a few months that they need, and then you send them off different people, and they're touching people's lives that you'll never see or talk to. So it's countless, really. But you can, the number of people.
It really is. There's an old saying: you can count the seeds in an apple, but you can't count the apples in a seed.
There you go.
And same here. And the ripple effect. I like to tell people too that my son was in our recovery program at the mission before I worked there. And he was in twice and dropped out early both times. So he wasn't our preferred success story, but he's doing wonderfully now. And those seeds were planted in him when he was at the mission. And it really made a difference for my family. It helped me to sleep better knowing that he was there. He was safe. He was getting fed. And as Christian family, he was hearing God's word, and it's on the walls in the mission. It's all over. And that's what really makes the biggest change, when someone realizes who they are and who they were created to be, to honor God and to love people, love themselves.
Right. And that's,
Good
that's a seldom said thing, Charmel. I'm glad you said that, because, the famous Bible verse is to love your neighbor as you love yourself. So where does that start? You got to love yourself first. You can't love your neighbor without loving yourself first, and learning to love yourself can start from a really low place and from a really dark place. And the rescue mission has been helping people through those dark, low times for 60 years. And it's pretty amazing what has happened at the rescue mission and beyond, where the rescue mission has, touched lives, not just around the 815, but all over the world, because people have, restored their lives and moved on, and recovered, and maybe stayed here, or maybe moved back to where they came from, or wherever, and have changed, their attitude toward.
And the Bible also talks about the fruits of the Spirit, the fruits of your labor, and all of this. You don't get to be 60 years strong without doing something right. And you're doing God's work, so obviously you're blessed. You're blessed. And I know personally of success stories from the Rockford Rescue Mission, just friends of mine or friends of friends or something like that. My brother was there for a while as well. I don't know how well it worked for him, but he did eventually find God, and that could have been one of the seed planters. But he was hard to get along with. And so it took a lot of seeds to get him where he needed to be. And he died a man of God, a really, really strong man of God. So he is in heaven waiting for me so he can bully me one more time. I'm kidding. Just kidding.
Tom, that's an excellent story. And it is true. And, the Rockford Rescue Mission may not be the perfect fit for someone to come in and be in our year-long recovery program. It could be that they just need to come in to get out of the cold this one time. It could be that just a smile when they walk in the door, wanting to be willing to listen to them, maybe just getting them through today.
That's a really good point. A lot of times it's just I was never heard as a child. Nobody ever cared. Nobody ever said, I love you. Nobody ever gave you a hug or anything like that. I completely understand it. There are a myriad ways of getting somebody to that point. Um, and there's
Yeah.
an equal number of ways that get them out of that and to the point where they need to be. And I think that is so important.
Mhm.
The numbers that just,
There's so much that
I
happens
was
at
just
the
gonna say,
mission. Yeah, because
look at this. The
what's
numbers just
that?
tallied up on our screen here. An average of 393
Oh,
meals per day, 800
Wow.
job training education assistance participants, 56,701 nights of lodging. I mean, it's amazing what the rescue
You know,
mission does.
if I could say one more thing, and Charmel, you could probably expound on this. I think it's important for people, anybody, whether you're a Christian or not, it does not matter, because there are probably people who come to the rescue mission who aren't Christians. That's fine. That's fine. We're going to
mhm,
show you Christian love
mhm.
anyway. I say we like I work there or something, but anyway,
You're in on it
all
with
right.
us.
Well,
It's
good. I'm
okay.
glad to be. But I think it's important that people understand that some people bait the hook. The old analogy of fishing. Some people cut up the fish. Some people cook the fish, scale the fish. Some people go out and find the worms. We all play a small little part of the bigger picture. And just because God calls you into
Mhm,
service and not to be the one that actually leads somebody to Christ, another form of service, but I mean, sometimes going out and picking up trash around the rescue mission as a way to help so that they
mm,
don't have to, whatever, you're volunteering. And I think that's what's important, is that if you think your service isn't felt or isn't good enough or isn't worthy enough, you're wrong. It is. It's needed, it's worthy, and it doesn't matter what it is. We can't all have the glory. Sometimes sitting in the
mm.
back and just doing the little stuff helps immensely. And I think people need to understand that they're important as well.
That is so important to get across to people, especially students. They want to help, and they want to know where they can have an impact. And a lot of times, I'll bring in a youth group and we'll make it a competition, rolling silverware and napkins. And I'll explain to them that this is not a small task. If with serving about 400 meals a day, you can imagine how hard it is to keep up with that task. And so they'll roll those silverware, and I'll tell them that helps us to move our line more quickly so people can get their meal and sit down and eat. That also gives a little extra point of dignity for those that are eating. They're not just, it's kind of like sitting in a restaurant,
Mhm.
and um, and it really does it lessens the job for the staff members, because I got to tell you, being on staff at the rescue mission is hard, and there are a lot of situations that come up that just are so unique, and you've got to be on your toes. And so those tasks that anyone can do, that are things that volunteers coming in can help with.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I like to say every group has different personalities within it. So there are people that prefer to be behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
that is something that's ideal for those people that want to come in and help, but they're okay with not going out and greeting everyone and saying hello. They just want to come in and do something behind the scenes.
Yeah.
There are others that want to be out there and shaking hands and saying hello and smiling and greeting people. And we've got plenty of opportunity for that too.
Absolutely. RockfordRescueMission.org. Got the link in the chat, so you can go directly to the page and see all the stuff
Right.
that's going on your screen today. And to kind of dovetail off of your point there, Charmel, the phrase that hit me or at the beginning of this month that I see as my focus for 2025, the phrase big things disguised as small things. Big things.
Mm.
We often see ourselves, and I tell the story about you and I, Charmel, being and Tom, coming from the radio broadcast world for working in broadcasting for a couple decades. Our goal was always to gather the biggest audience, to to have the biggest events, to numbers, show all the great numbers. And the truth of the matter is, unless you truly touch one person's life, you don't touch anyone's life. I mean, having a big event can be all fine and dandy, but what change was actually made? What difference was actually made by the event, unless one person had their life, improved in some way, shape, or form? So, like you're saying, even rolling software, software, even rolling utensils into napkins may seem like a small thing.
Okay, that now I get that's my rolling software.
Zoom!
Okay, yeah.
That
Yeah.
seems like a small thing, but it is a part of the big thing, and the big thing doesn't happen without that small thing.
Mhm.
Thank you. Yes. And
Yeah,
our
very
thrift store, our thrift store literally brings in over $1 million into our budget annually. It's amazing, from stuff that people don't want anymore and they bring to the thrift store. So I love to explain how that works too, because just yesterday I talked with someone. She said, well, I want to bring things that will be given, not sold. So I explained to her that we ask for everything to go through the thrift store, as far as clothing, new furniture, knickknacks, old records, anything, that kind of thing, to go through our thrift store. It gets processed, but we keep some at the mission. And if we have a particular need, say a guy comes in, he needs a 13 work boot, we can just call over to the thrift store and say, hey, do you have any of this in stock? We go get that. And no one ever has to pay for anything that comes to our mission and asks for assistance. And right now we have tons of coats in the mission ready to give out. We have had people in the past that just walked in our front door and said, I need a coat. It's unimaginable to me that someone to have to walk in and humble yourself and say, please, can I have something?
that is the key word, humble. That is the key word.
Yeah.
And this is why
And
people will be
brave.
out. Yeah, absolutely. This is why people will be out there when it's all of a sudden September becomes October, and now it's getting down to about 48 at night, and it's a little bit chilly. I don't need a coat. I don't need a coat. I got a cardboard box or whatever. And then finally they just break down and
And ask.
and ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes
And we've
that's
got
the
that.
toughest thing, is to ask.
Sherry Pitney, our CEO, has said at our graduation ceremonies, by the way, those happen once or twice every year and everyone's invited. It's an amazing event. But she will tell our recovery graduates, you are some of the bravest people I know, because you stepped in our doors, and that's hard. It's hard to come in as someone needing help. And that's who, we're helping, is anyone that comes in and just knocks on the door and asks for help. In so many different ways. We have classes, we help people get housing, education. We're actually a GED testing site, and some of our residents take those classes and raise their education level to help with jobs. We help people get those jobs. We have amazing businesses in the area that partner with us. They'll come in and do a job fair right here on the spot. It's just so many people in so many ways help the mission. And financially, of course, that's the undergirding that is the current that keeps it going underneath. And some people give, a couple bucks a month or a year. You know what I noticed? I've seen in the past that many people don't necessarily give much while they're alive, but they put us in their trust or in their will. And after they're gone, they make an impact because they planned that out ahead of time. So that's very cool.
That's nice.
So,
and
yeah.
Let's kind of wrap this up in this bow, if you don't mind. I want to bring Linda on real quick. If someone may have always wanted to do some sort of volunteering, and they just never saw themselves working at the rescue mission itself. Here's a place to volunteer at, the thrift store, where maybe this is more your speed. There's all different things to do at the thrift store, between sorting and pricing and getting stuff onto hangers and such. So maybe this might be an opportunity for you to volunteer in a way that fits your individual personality and style. So consider that. link is in the chat, and please take a look at that as well. I'm bringing you on, Linda. So just so you know, you're coming on the screen. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning.
Linda's with Mosaic of Rockford, and who's a little bit different than the Rockford Rescue Mission. But as we wrap things up with the rescue mission, Charmel, the mission does not take government funds. So
Exactly. Yeah, we don't ask for that because God is always sustained through individuals. So year-end giving right now, we're looking to cap it off around 500,000 for the end of the year. We're really working on that. And then our telethon comes up January 23rd. I get to be blessed to be a part of that again on air on channel 17. I don't know how you call it. WTVO, mystayline.com.
yeah.
They give us 2 hours of prime time, no ads. And that happens again Thursday, January 23rd. It's going to be fast paced. It's so much fun. And it's a way that people, you can just call and give a gift right there online. And it's pretty snazzy. And that's been going on many, many years. And
it's like a local history lesson too.
What's that?
You learn a lot about Rockford during the 2 hours. It's like a local history lesson.
It is, and just so inspiring. So it's a fun time. So we encourage people to check in that as well, and you learn a bunch more. I especially tell people, check into where you're giving your money and see how transparent they are, and see if you can look it up, and you can see it on our website, and you can ask questions all day long and find out how your gifts are being used.
All right there. Linda, I think she had to shut her camera off, but can you still hear us, Linda?
I can. I froze and then I turned into letters. I'm not sure why my camera.
Well, we know you're there, so we can hear you, so that's all right. Before we're gonna Tom, I'm assuming you have some trivia ready for us this morning. You always do.
Hi, have we met? I'm Tom. Of course I do. You know what? Don't ever hang out with me because a trivia game might just break out.
That's right.
Unexpected.
Right.
Oh,
I'm putting in the chat right now. There's Linda. I'm putting in the chat right now a link to our Spotify page, and I because I wasn't sure about our guest situation. I did not. I wish I could say I did, but I did not plan for this to happen the way it's happening right now. Charmel Jacobs with the Rockford Rescue Mission was the winner of our masked karaoke trivia contest back in October.
Cover your ears, Linda, for what's coming.
And I was just going to say thank you for that again. That was so amazing.
The whole reason that thing happened, by the way, was because of this wonderful person named Linda Wennmacher. Who,
I thought I was going to talk about you guys taking last place. First
that wasn't to be mentioned.
No, but and I've explained this a couple different times on the show, but in meeting with Linda and meeting with Tracy Fultz at Medicare 411, Medicare was going to be the host of the October in-crowd event for 2024. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I should say, it fell on Halloween this year. And I was like, I don't know that we want to do an event on the evening of Halloween. We talked about the opportunity of possibly doing it. And there was very few people that were like, yeah, let's do a karaoke party on Halloween night. No, there's trick-or-treaters and there's all this other stuff going on with family and other things. So let's change the date. And as the idea blossomed and bloomed and grew, Linda and Tracy both got on board with the idea of having an event that involved more than one not-for-profit. In fact, 10 not-for-profits were represented at the Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest. And because of that, Rockford Rescue Mission was blessed with a $1,000 prize, thanks to Keller Williams Realty team that put together that team supporting the rescue mission. The Rock House Kids won some money thanks to Paul Iverson and Iverson Painting Company. And then Marshmallow's Hope won prize money as well. And some people had no clue what Marshmallow's Hope was and didn't know they existed until that night. And that was the whole really purpose of doing the event in the first place, was to get people in the room, some of the greatest 815 area folks in one room, to say, oh, here's 10 not-for-profits. I knew about them and them and them. I didn't realize that the Rock River Valley Blood Center was a not-for-profit. They're here too. Interesting. The comments that came out of that and the connections that came out of that was the whole reason it was done. And we're so excited that Linda saw the vision of that early and encouraged me. Her encouragement is what made that all happen. So bless you, Linda.
And I know I can speak for Greg and myself and probably everybody else. Greg and I were blown away by the attendance. 150 people in all, whatever, with tables and with people in the audience and all that. 150 people or something like that, right, Greg?
It was about 160 when it was all said and
160.
done.
Okay,
Yeah.
I understated it. Very good. And it was like, wow. It's a good thing I'm not Mike Shy or you. Definitely not.
And by the way, I have to tell you, I didn't have a staff member that came along with me. It was actually a volunteer that helps in our work center, and she came along, and we just had a blast. It was a lot of fun. I'm sure your next one's going to be even better. I can't wait.
Yeah, we're just trying to nail down the venue, and I think April 17th is going to be the date for the next ones. That's the goal, but until we nail down a venue, I can't guarantee that's going to happen yet. So I'm hoping by the first or second week of January that we'll have that all nailed down. So
very good.
All right. Well, as I mentioned, I put in the chat the link to our Spotify page, and that's grown really well over the last year as well. Thanks to all those who have made their way over to Spotify and followed us over there and liked and shared episodes. By the way, today's episode is number 247. I don't know if 247 is important a number to any of you on the screen right now, but that's what number we are.
We're on 24/7 with Spotify and Yahoo and all that. So there you go.
There you go.
Good job.
Boom. Yeah.
All told, since we started doing Saturday morning shows, this is episode 584. That's in 2013 is when we started doing this as a Saturday morning State Line show. So if we're taking some more numbers, 584 is the total of all the shows.
I started doing it in 2007.
And he's been.
But it wasn't the Saturday morning State Line show. It was. It was the Shopper Show with Stan and Shannon.
Ladies, we're going to see if we can score some points with Tom's trivia. And then we're going to let Charmel go and talk a little bit with Linda. So let's do this first. Tom is impressed, right? Impressed by this. That's right. We got a fancy intro for Tom now. All right, Tom. What do you got?
By the way, that picture, the bald me doesn't look anything like me. The glasses are completely no. I'm kidding.
I asked AI to make that for me, Tom, and they did a pretty good job.
Really?
Yes.
AI.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. You guys ready for some trivia?
All right. Let's do this.
Right. Tom's Super
Bring it.
Ooh, I like that. Bring it. All right. I will. All right. In honor of it being Christmas, I'm wearing my Christmas hat. I have a Snoopy hat. It's got the Snoopy ears, but it's out there and I'm in here. So we're going to have to just go with regular Santa hat. Oh, but I do have Snoopy slippers.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, there we go. I can't even. Wow. Yeah, I'm wearing shorts.
My son got Grinch slippers for Christmas.
My sister,
those were a big deal this year.
They're a big deal this year.
Oh, I forgot the Grinch price. Okay. Question number 1, if you dare. All right, here we go. All right, the first 3 are Christmas. The last 3 are New Year's. And then there is a tiebreaker. Okay. All right, you're up against everybody else because 6 and 1 is the best so far. All right, here we go. Tom's Super Saturday Trivia. We got space, we got saints, and we got presidents. They're all Christmas related. And then we got New Year's celebrations, midnight drops, and music. Here we go. What well-known Christmas carol became the first song ever broadcast from space in 1965? Was it Jingle Bells or Deck the Halls?
I'm going to go with Jingle Bells.
All right, I'll read it one more time for no other reason other than the fact that I always read it twice.
Hard to deck the halls.
Well-known Christmas carol became the first ever song broadcast from a Christmas song broadcast from space in 1965? Jingle Bells or Deck the Halls?
Well, since Linda chose Jingle Bells, I'm going to go with the other.
Okay, just one of the opposite, huh?
Yeah.
You can be the tiebreaker here.
I guess, I don't think it's hard to deck the halls from space. So I think it's going to be Jingle Bells. I think the teams need to go with Jingle Bells.
Jingle Bells is the correct answer. Why
Yeah.
is it hard to deck the halls from space?
Well,
That
is there a
makes no
hall?
sense.
No hallways in space. Right.
You ever see that commercial? I can't remember what it is. It's like an E-Trade or something. The guy, he says, "Are you seeing this? Oh, I've been here 15 moonwalks." Then he hits the golf ball. It bounces off his little truck thing, goes up, and comes back down. It doesn't happen on the moon. There's no gravity. Anyway, that's a flaw.
Very little gravity.
Yeah. Well,
All
it
right.
came down and boom, and it bounced. Anyway, all righty. Here we go. In what modern day country was Saint Nicholas born? Once again, is it France or Turkey? Once again, in what modern day country was Saint Nicholas born? Was it France or was it Turkey?
Mm,
I'm gonna say Turkey.
I'm going to say Turkey too. I think it's Turkey.
that's what I had in mind. I'm going to stick with them.
Yeah.
Well, France is not the correct answer. You guys got it right.
Oh, all right.
I have a friend who does trivia, and he's like, let's say the answer is California or Texas. You go, California, and everybody goes, yeah. He goes, is not the correct answer. Texas is. And then you get about 27 people going, oh, yeah.
Come on.
I hate when he does it. I tell him,
Come on.
hey, don't do that again. You're giving me a hard time. All right, presidents. Oh, man. From the
Uh-oh.
The frozen tundra has frozen Tom. What's happening, Tom? All right, hold on. Let's see if we can take him off the screen and put him back on the screen and see if he unfreezes.
which U.S. president
There we go.
banned?
Oh no! Hold on, Tom. Hold on. Let's try this again.
I'm still here.
There we go.
Okay,
Which
well
US president-
that concludes the quiz. You guys didn't answer any of the last ones. Why not? What happened?
we all lose.
Yeah. Wah, 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 wah. All right. I come with sound effects.
Something about a president.
Something about a president. Well, what's the answer? Come on now. All right, here we go. Like I said, from the Grinch file here, which U.S. president banned Christmas trees at the White House? Was it Harry Truman or Teddy Roosevelt?
Roosevelt.
We'll see.
I
Come on,
think it
which
was
U.S.
Roosevelt.
president banned Christmas trees at the White House? Harry Truman or Teddy Roosevelt?
Wasn't Roosevelt a big conservationist? Maybe he didn't want to cut down the trees, or maybe that was his thing. So Roosevelt was a big guess, I think.
All right, everybody in agreement with that?
Only if it's right.
I like it. Very good.
Wise woman.
Figures, your logic was spot on. I don't know that was the reason, but I'm pretty sure that was the reason.
All right,
And that's one of those things where, without context, you're like, "Oh man, what was he, a Grinch?" You know.
Yeah.
Oh no, big time conservationist.
All right.
Start the national. Yeah, I think he started the National Forestry Service.
did.
I
He
believe.
Yeah.
He did. So
National
very
Parks.
good. Very good. Okay. Did you? Are you 3-0 or 2-1? I don't remember
We're
if you got the
3-0.
first one right or not.
Yeah, we did. We got them all right. We're gonna win.
Come on now. Now, Biff, don't con me.
It's on video. We can go back.
It's on video.
We can check the video later.
By the way, greatest movie ever, Back to the Future.
I know. I was
Oh my
trying to
God.
think what movie that line was. Yeah. Don't.
Yeah. Now, Biff, don't con me. That was from the very end of 2, I believe. But anyway,
Yeah.
Try.
all right. Here we go. Oh, New Year's now. Now we're getting into the New Year. I should put like on my my cap. I don't have one, so we're stuck with Snoopy, Santa, whatever. All right, New Year's celebrations. In what year did Dick Clark debut his very first New Year's Rockin' Eve special? Was it 1974 or 1978?
Oh, I thought it was in the 60s, so I'm off.
Right?
All right, once again, in what year did Dick Clark debut his very first New Year's Rockin' Eve special? 1974 or 1978?
Well, if it was 70, are they promoting it on TV commercials? This is the 60th year of doing it. That-
Ooh.
You're not supposed to do the math here. Come on now.
I'm trying to think if any of the Ryan Seacrest commercials on TV right now is saying been 60 years of Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve, and I don't know that he has. I can't remember. It seems like it's been around more than 60 years. I don't know. It's been there nearly my entire life, so I don't know. 50 years. I think 74. I think they did say something about 50 years.
Everybody in agreement?
Mm-hmm.
Probably a good idea to be, because that is the correct answer. Very
All
good.
right.
Wow.
Very good. All right,
Very
midnight
good.
drops. This one here might be easier than I thought, but that's okay. That's okay. Which U.S. city drops a giant chocolate kiss at midnight on New Year's Eve?
Oh, come on. This one's that's
Hershey,
gotta be
Hershey,
Ding,
Pennsylvania.
ding, 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 ding. All right.
Nice.
Yeah, I read that and I'm like, well, that's a good question. No, it's not. It's way too easy, but that's okay.
You gotta have at
All
least
right, we're
one
all
easy
friends
question.
here.
Yeah.
I gotta take care of my compadres, you know.
There we go. There we go. At
I'm
least
not
one
such a
easy.
Grinch.
So
I'm not
Tom,
such a Grinch after all. What?
how did the kiss? Here's a trivia. How did the kiss get its name? The kiss. Why did they call the candy a
I
kiss?
do not. Oh, I know the answer to this, but I can't remember. I can't come up with it.
The
Anyone else got that
conveyor
one?
belt that it drops the
Uh-huh.
chocolate on looks like it's kissing the conveyor belt. Something like
Oh, I heard it actually made a noise that sounded like a kiss.
that might be it there. Little
That's weird.
kiss noise.
Anyway.
All right.
Well, it was either that or Hershey Splat, but Hershey's Kiss was much better. That won out. So, all right. We got one question left, and then we got the super duper, fantabulous, spectacular, never before heard final question. Oh, and it's Rockford trivia. Oh,
right.
and
All
you
right,
know
good.
what? You all three have a shot. No, actually, two of you have a shot at this. I'll explain
Okay.
why later. All right.
All
Music. Perhaps the most famous end of the year New Year's song is Old Lang Syne, which signifies the end of another year. Who sings this song? The one that's made popular. 100 people have done it. The one that made it popular that you always hear.
Oh.
Oh goodness. Is that like a Bing Crosby thing or
You're on the right track. I'll put it. I'll just say that. And there are words. There are words.
There
he
are a lot of
actually does
words.
sing the words.
Not Frank Sinatra, is it?
I don't think so.
No.
Who else was a big singer back in the Bing Crosby era?
Think slightly earlier.
You'd been
Older
earlier.
than Bing Crosby.
I don't know if he's older, but he's dead. We know that.
Dead or alive?
Oh.
I
Is
know
this in the-
Wendy Williams.
Okay. Let's
But it's
see.
the only old name I can think of.
Yeah, no. It, Good home. Oh, let's see.
I'm stumped on this.
Mm-mm.
I'm stumped. No
Yeah,
help at all.
If you just come up with the guy's last name, we'll be good.
Not Rudy Valley. No.
Fats Domino.
All you need is the guy's last name.
Lombard.
Oh,
It's Guy Lombard.
Mel Torme? No, he's Guy Lombardo.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Guy Lombardo. Despite
Thank
you,
despite
Greg.
the hint, I'm going to give it to you.
I'd like to vowel.
Woo, all right. Very good. Very good. Look, Lombard.
We don't cheat like this when we do the actual contest with Tom. Only on the podcast.
And I don't give out hints either.
No.
At the, I'm actually all professional. In fact, I'm going to wear a suit and tie next time.
Ooh.
No, I'm not.
Really?
No.
Gonna
And
wear
shorts. And Snoopy slippers. I still can't. I'm going to pull a muscle if I do that again.
We've
Wow.
never-
All right.
Disclaimer, we've never shown that much leg on this podcast before.
That's right.
That's a first.
That's right. I just hope I
And never will again,
hope I never
hopefully.
drop my computer. Like that guy that stands up, he's got a cup of coffee and he's in his red boxers at a meeting. He's got the nice suit on and the tie. All right, here we go. Tiebreaker to end all tiebreakers. Gregors, you may not have as good a chance at this because I don't know if you were around then in Rockford. Maybe you were. Slightly. All right. Bonus question. It is Rockford trivia, and it is related to New Year's. In what year did Rockford celebrate its first ever Rockford First Night, which is no longer a thing, I don't believe.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Once again, in what year did Rockford celebrate its first ever Rockford First Night? And two
Well,
answers are acceptable because it happened an hour before midnight. So
Yeah.
you can have
well,
either
I was
one.
going to say, Tom,
Right.
our radio station, WQFL, and was WGSL part of it too? I think WQFL and GSL were both.
They were
big-
at the same time
yeah,
early
Rockford
on.
First
Early
Night
on.
sponsors in like 97, 98, 99, and 2000. I think the
Mhm.
last one was either 2000 or 2001. No. It was 2003 because we did voice war contests in 2002 and 2003,
Yes.
and the winners, the finalists, got to perform at First Night Rockford New Year's Eve.
Mhm.
That's right. That's right.
The first one was probably
So that was the last, though.
that was the last one I
Is that what
remember.
you
It was
said?
2003 or 4. So it was probably like
Were you going to give us a choice, Tom?
95, 94,
Well,
something in there.
choice. Ooh. Well, no.
I don't remember it being around very often. I don't know that it lasted more
Yeah,
than
I don't think it lasted a long time.
So my
If I
guess
give
is
you
like
a choice, you will
96.
probably not get it.
Okay.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
give you a choice. Was it 1993 or 1995?
I think it was 95.
I would say 95.
I'll say 95 because I had
Yeah.
moved back and I remember now that you mention it, hearing about it, but I don't remember ever attending or being involved. So it must have
Took a while to take off.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was that big of a deal for the first couple of years.
And what do you say, young man? Oh, he said 1993. Snoopy is correct. 1993.
Oh, 93. Okay. So that's why, Charmel, the first few years, I don't know that it was very popular at all. I know they did a big
Right.
fire and ice thing downtown. I don't even know if they did fireworks the first couple of years.
Yeah, they had ice skating, and it was outside in the cold. So that just
down at
it
Davis
didn't
Park.
draw me.
I was watching, believe it or not, I was watching the repeat of the broadcast that was on Channel 13 back with Heather Pick, may she rest in peace, Mike Robinson, Robert Lanigan, Sarah Vetter. I remember all of them. And I'm watching it because I'm trying to figure out if this was the first year. And it turns out it was. And it was 92, which turned into 93. So that's why I said there were two correct answers.
Sure.
So, Team Saunders, Jacobs, and Wennmacher 6, and Snoopy 1, but he won the bonus. So Snoopy's the big winner for today. Yay! I'm kidding. You guys all did great. And that's the wrap.
That's the wrap. Charmel, thank you so much for choosing to join us this last podcast of 2024. And we'll look forward to catching up with you in 2025. I'm sure we'll have some events to talk with you about in the new year. So we'll keep in touch. All right. Any last words before we let you go?
Absolutely. Well, see y'all on the telethon January 23rd. Honestly, it's a blast. So thanks everybody for giving in so many ways, for praying. And yeah, thank you. God bless you guys.
It's our pleasure and it's our honor to have you on the show, Charmel, anytime.
I'm willing any old time.
Okay,
January 23rd.
We should probably have you back on again just before the show, just to remind people. So even if it's 10 minutes or something.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Happy New Year to you. And Linda, we want to talk a little bit about Mosaic before we wrap up our final. For those, I mean, again, Linda and Mosaic has been like some of our biggest supporters of this show for a long time now. And I want to thank you so much for all your encouragement. Your encouragement means the world to me. I don't know how I can't express to you how much your encouragement means to me personally. So thank you for carving out time to come on the show with us this morning. And any kind of year-end wrap-up you want to share about Mosaic of Rockford?
I do. And I want to say, your show has really, and the podcast have gotten the word out about us and the cool community stuff that we're able to do. And speaking of mass trivia, we're in great company. in this community with the other nonprofits. So to add 9 to the roster with us was way more fun than just doing a Mosaic thing. And I think community partnership is really the lifeblood of what we're all about, all 3 of us. So that was very exciting. We did have here last night, actually, we did our final holiday event with Michelle Cox at the Landscape Connection. She
Oh,
hosted
nice.
all 8 of our group homes with a hot chocolate and cookie bar. And we were able to bring our people with special needs through the walk. And she carved out time for us so we could do wheelchairs and do our thing and really enjoy kind of a VIP experience. So
The Landscape Connection Christmas Walk is epic every year.
for
It's
everyone, and it
huge.
gets bigger every year. So, and Michelle really outdid herself last night with us for sure. And a little drizzle didn't hurt one bit. So we had a great time.
Good.
But yeah, Christmas at Mosaic was huge. We're an organization that's a national organization. We do obviously have a very strong presence in the Rockford area. Mosaic serves over 5,000 people in the United States. And people of all ages, from the point of diagnosis in a young child with cerebral palsy all the way through people's final days in hospice. And we do that in-house in our agencies. The Rockford organization serves about 75 people. And Christmas, I think, is everyone's favorite, especially the people that we support. So this year we had 17 different local organizations pull off Christmas with us. And around 400 gifts were given. We served 75 people, and with Christmas math, we had 100 stockings. So people were really hooked up. And people get things they really need, winter coats that they maybe can't afford on their own, but also favorite items, clothing that is exactly what they want in their favorite color, their favorite character. It's a great time for us to redecorate bedrooms for people. Stitch was a big one this year. Lilo and Stitch stuff was all
Really?
over the place. So it was fantastic. And those 17 partners also helped provide holiday meals. So at Christmas, and that's grown over the years, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and now Easter, community partners donate money. And we're able to provide full catered meals. So it's a turkey dinner. It's an Italian meal sometimes on Christmas Eve. And then, the holiday hams at Easter. That allows our staff to really focus on celebrating the holiday and taking care of the individuals that they're charged with caring for. And so we don't have to worry about people being exhausted or stretched thin, or if you don't know how to make a turkey for 8 people that have high needs, that's quite a feat. So that's been a huge thing in the agency over the last several years and continues to grow. And it's an easy way to help and feel really good about what you're doing with folks during the holiday season, because many of our people don't have family, or they don't have local family.
And you have volunteer
Or
opportunities
they're not able to get out.
similar to what the rescue mission does. There's a lot of different things that people can volunteer to help with that don't necessarily involve face-to-face one-on-one contact with the people that you serve.
Yeah, absolutely. We bring in very often school groups to help wrap those Christmas gifts. The last few years, people have been so on board that they're showing up wrapped. But we do that. We have youth groups coming all the way from Chicago to help with spring and fall cleanups in our homes. And for some of the kids that we had this year in 2024, it was their first time being face to face with a person with disabilities. And who doesn't want to hang out and have a cupcake? So it's a very gentle meeting.
Me, I do.
Yes, and so it's a great experience for not only our folks to have company and visitors, but also for people, especially young people, to learn about this kind of unseen population. And we have done things over the years with St. Anthony Nursing School, nursing rotations and projects in our agency to give people a little extra knowledge about the field that they're about to go into and who's going to walk through the doors of that hospital emergency room or into that clinic. And then, certainly we've had partners come out and paint homes for us inside, help decorate things. So it's been great. We do really important work. And there are so many ways that people can get involved to the level that they do want or don't want face-to-face contact. Because you're exactly right. Not everybody has a lot of time or a comfort level And some people just like to remain in the background. And I know that those background folks are some of the most important people that our agency works with.
Yeah.
And for the work that we do, it's amazing. Of the 75 people we support, we have 8 group homes in the Rockford area. And we also have a very robust host home program, which is similar to adult foster care, where people move in with the family. And for some of our folks, that's their first time ever getting a family experience, perhaps their first time ever having their own bedroom in their whole life, which is hard to wrap my mind around if you're in your 50s and just got your own bedroom for the first time.
Wow.
Those are our greatest success stories. In 2024, our program had some growth and we added a couple more of those host homes. And then 2025, we're on deck probably during the month of January or February to add 2 more. We are the largest host home provider in the Northwest region of Illinois. So that's a big deal, and it's a really neat service line. People still get nursing and case management, lots of oversight, so we know they're safe. And they end up living a life that we can't present in a standard group.
Yeah.
Linda, you reminded me of something.
We have
Back in
people
the
that always
day,
are probably neat.
back in the day at the radio station, we used to have a tree there. Mosaic brought it in, or we brought it, or whatever, and we would put names on the tree, and we would all of the radio station employees, and even people that came in to pick up prizes and sales reps, they could do it as well. And you'd grab a name, and then you'd bring the gift back to the station, and then you guys would pick them up and have gifts. Well, the radio station, due to COVID and other reasons, is there's just not as many people there anymore. A lot of automation, whatever. So that opportunity isn't there. Is there another avenue for? And it's too late now because Christmas is gone. It's not too late, but it's not. You know what I mean? We have to
season.
wait till next Christmas to give Christmas gifts.
Mhm.
Is there another way to do this? Like,
Yes. Yes. So the radio station, I've been around a long time, and I was one of those radio station visitors and haulers and picker-uppers. I
mhm.
remember a fantastic guitar coming out of the radio station for an individual that still has that guitar.
Oh,
Um,
that's awesome.
but that program grew from a handful of gifts that we were collecting at the radio station, which were super important and very personalized, to this large program we have now. Medicare 411 has done trees. And so have some other local businesses. Cars R Us has done stuff. But what we have done is put that out there. We have so many repeat donors that people are calling us in September and saying, hey, I want ABC Group Home again, or hey, I want Bob to do his Christmas again. And so people come to us, but we do still very much like the tree was. There's 3 gifts that are personalized to the person. So you aren't going to see pajamas and socks and gloves because nobody really wants that to be their whole Christmas.
Yeah.
And that is how it happens. So although there's not a physical tree, those tags are going out, and they're going out earlier every year. We have 2 local churches. We have many churches that help us, but 2 local churches that take a chunk of our folks. And so where we always tried to get at least 1 gift for people, they're getting 3 or more gifts at this point, and they're, again, super personalized. So yes, so anybody can do it. We have private donors that do it. We have places that give us money if they're not able to shop, and then we send out some of our volunteers to do the shopping. But yes, that tree at the radio station was the beginning of a very large program that has been so successful for us in all the years since. And even during COVID, we got some of our largest, I guess, gift hauls during COVID because people were home and online shopping and didn't have anything
Yeah.
else to do. And we made sure we had a strong presence out there. Amazingly enough, it was a lot of strategizing because I was also at home during COVID and working.
Yeah.
Our presence as a nonprofit in this area grew during COVID because there was such a focus on what can we do next, or how can we make this better. And I would have thought that it would have taken away from our ability, but it actually helped us to grow. And thank goodness for things like this podcast, where we can get out there, not in a face-to-face thing necessarily, but that continued support and networking and doing all
Yeah.
those things. I learned several years ago, and then certainly COVID really imprinted it upon me. I went into this field to help people and save the world as a young, very, naive girl. And I realized over the progression of years and how the world has changed that I am in a business and I'm in the business
Yeah.
of people. And so looking at the business model of how we help people, and I have wonderful people that work with me that provide the everyday beauty to people's lives, but I work very much, and in that host home program growth, very much on how do we help even more people and how do we get the word out and how do we find more donors or Christmas gifts. And so the fun and fluff is out there, and I have wonderful people doing that. And then there are some people in the background grinding away
Nice.
about what's
Nice. Well,
next.
we love spreading the message of what Mosaic does and seeing the growth. The growth is nice. The actual individual lives being touched and changed and made better is the cake. That's the whole thing. That's the real thing. Yeah.
It's the beauty of it all. Yes, it is and when I struggle with the administrative and logistic or,
Mhm.
legislative pieces of this, I take myself to a group home or a host home to remind myself, why am I doing all this paperwork or advocating? This year, I brought one of my favorite
Yeah.
guys home for Christmas Eve. And we did Christmas Eve, and then we headed out to a Christmas Eve church service. And then he went back to his host home where he has even more family. So,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's the beauty
That's
of it
awesome.
all.
Well, I think that's a great way to wrap up the year right there. That's the message. That is a great way to wrap up the podcast for 2024 and welcome everybody and encourage everybody to join us in 2025. Next week, we're going to have Paul Happick on. He's one of the board members of Shelter Care Ministries. They've got a whole cool thing going on that a bunch of people didn't know about until that October event. There's like, I had no clue that they existed and what they do. So they're going to kick off the year for us next week here on the program. And our first in-crowd 815 face-to-face event of 2025 is actually going to be at the Empower offices, which is in the Supply Corps building across the street from the Coronado Theater. So the last Thursday of January, come on out to the Supply Corps building. If you want to be a part of In-Crowd, if you have a business card and a smile, you're welcome. That's it. You need a business card and a smile to come on up and join us at our first In-Crowd event, the last Thursday of January. And we're hoping to do something we've never done before that I'm aware of, a little bit of speed networking. We're going to try to do some speed networking. It's kind of like speed dating, only for business professional type folks. So, and not for profits. So, and we are definitely seeing an increase in not for profit participation in what we're doing with In-Crowd. And that's great. That's the collaboration that we're looking for to build upon and keep improving our 815 area. Before we let you go, Linda, any final words you want to say before we wrap things up for the year?
No, this was a wonderful way to do it. I'm so excited to see what 2025 brings for our community and all of our other nonprofit partners. And of course, for you guys, because you are my Saturday mornings, and Mosaic will be
And
at
we
the
appreciate
Empower
that.
event. And then we'll be trivia, and we're really working on our vocal skills.
Awesome. Well, we'll let you go. And thank you so much. We'll be talking to you again in the new year.
Happy New Year. God bless.
All right, we need to wrap up our final big number of the week for the year. My score is 3, Tom's score is 2, and the big number of the week this week is 900 million. And the answer is PB&J or Poland. You have texted me your answer.
Yep.
And all right. So are you an Uncrustable fan? Do you eat Uncrustables?
They're okay. I do, but I'm not 10 anymore, so not a huge fan. No, they're okay. They're
Well,
kind of smushy and weird, but I do like them. I love peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and banana is my favorite, though.
you may have heard this in the news recently, but Uncrustables are wildly popular among NFL players. They eat a lot of them.
Finger
Sales,
food, and it's good protein.
I guess, sales for Uncrustables in 2024 are estimated to reach 900 million.
Doggone
Yes.
it.
That's right.
Did
900
I
million is
spell PB&J wrong again? Man.
Thanks to their convenience, you put a frozen PB&J disc in your lunch in the morning, and by noon it's thawed out and ready and soft and to eat as a sandwich. Wildly popular among football players. NFL teams estimated go through an estimated 80,000 Uncrustables every year. How many NFL teams are there, Tom? 30.
32.
Divide that into 80,000, and that's according to the New York Times, Travis Kelce, he says he eats them more than he eats anything else in the world. That's been his go-to snack here for a number of years now. So Uncrustables, huge sales. Poland is selling frozen butter reserves to curb soaring prices in Poland. They pulled out 1.1 thousand tons because they've had soaring prices attributed to a milk shortage. Reserves don't always include food. Some countries maintain reserves of items key to local diets. Canada, for example, has maple syrup reserves because it's important to Canada. But
it's also
anyway,
our 51st state.
They're also, hey, who knows? We'll see what happens.
Governor Trudeau,
They're having troubles up there. Shout out this week to Pablo. Congratulations on getting his house before the year is up. He's very excited to be moving into his bigger home. Wanted to give a quick shout out to Classic Cinema in Beloit. I went and saw a movie there for the first time this last week for Christmas Day, actually.
Yes.
Really enjoyed it.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
It's
we
the
go up there
reclining
with
seats.
grandkids quite a bit. The reclining seats and it just, oh man, and the prices are good too.
Prices aren't bad.
The state line's best kept secret. It really is. So
shout out to Classic
and support it. Keep it cheap. Please pick up your bucket of popcorn, and if you've spilled a significant amount, you can't get every little piece. Throw it in the garbage, please. Don't make a mess. Because it just adds to the, anyway.
That's right. And then friend of the show, she's been on the podcast a couple of times, Tasha Ives. Her father-in-law, Greg Ives, passed away actually last month, but they had his memorial service yesterday here in Rockford. Greg Ives played cornet in the orchestra at Rockford First Assembly for years. So I was involved in music productions with him for a number of years, and he lived one of those epically romantic American experience lives. Served in the military, has a beautiful wife, and 2 daughters, 2 sons. Just the American success story, if there ever was one. It's Greg Ives, and I admired him greatly as someone that like I said, we performed together in many productions and stuff at First Assembly back in the day. And it was wonderful to celebrate his life yesterday at City First Church and see his family and celebrate the life of Greg Ives. So we are again going to kick off the new year next week with Paul Happick from Shelter Care Ministries. He's a board member there. We're going to talk about what Shelter Care Ministries is all about, and we want you to be a part. So tune in and join us for 2025. Tom, Happy New Year. Thanks for another great year.
Speaking of kickoff, that Packer game, I'm kidding. I know we don't have time. We
gotta go.
I'm going to have to make some phone calls. Hey, Bill, you want to talk Packer football? Oh, okay. Sorry to bother you.
34-0? What was it? 34-0, 32-0? I forget what it was.
34-0. Oh, by the way, I don't have it with me, but do you remember my prediction? It was 34-13. I was being kind to the Saints.
Me too. I said 40-14, and yeah. So,
we could have. Look, the truth be told, we could have won that game 50-0.
It was not a contest. It was not a contest. All right. Well, Packers Vikings tomorrow.
By the way, if your schedule on the wall says Packers noon start, they're not. It's been flexed to a 3:25.
Yeah. America's game of the week or whatever they call it. So
yeah.
All right.
Tom Brady. One real quick question: Tom Brady or Greg Olsen?
Greg Olsen.
Yeah, I know.
Tom Brady's getting better. Brady is getting better.
I like Tom Brady. I like his analysis, but they did Greg Olsen dirty. I'm sorry. Yeah, they should have had Tom Brady come in, and Tom, you're going to be the third. But no, it's Tom Brady, $300 million. You don't pay somebody $300 million. That's a little more than what I get doing this. like by 300 million more.
Yeah, by about 300
But-
million.
Yeah. Anyway,
So-
so I think everybody's in universal agreement that Greg Olson is very, very good and should have remained the
Excellent.
#1 guy.
He's an excellent color guy and analysis guy. So,
Yeah.
all right. Remember, folks, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone today. We'll do the same. Meet you back here next week and next
All right.
year.
Next year.
For
Let me
another.
just say one thing before you hit that thing, Greg.
I'm gonna hit
You
it.
are my brother from another mother, and I love you, buddy. You are an incredible friend, an incredible guy, and I look forward to this every Saturday morning.
Me
just
too, brother.
Mostly because of you, because of our guests, because we get to talk Packer football. I get to show off my Packer display. I mean, it's just been a part of my life. You've been I've known you for 20 plus 25 years, whatever,
Long
but
time.
more in particular since 2013. So 11 years we've been working together, soon to be 12 years. And you're one of my absolute best friends. And I
It's
love you,
been
buddy.
fun. It's been fun. And when it hasn't been fun, we've made it fun. So
That's right.
Thanks for enduring through technical issues and everything else to get this thing going. And episode 247 is now in the books.
And by the way, trivia. You played trivia with me at the championships the last time. No matter what, you're playing again if I have to handcuff you and drag you to the venue. So plan on it. I'll let you know in advance when it is.
All right.
Okay.
Happy New Year, everybody. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
He won 5 in crime.